Let's fucking go. You are listening to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand.
And welcome. It is Monday morning. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast, and I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and the other fucking guy is back from his little trip to Mexico, back behind the controls. Leo, good morning to you, brother.
Good morning, Troy. Nice to see you. Love to be back in Arizona. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to be on vacation, but Arizona is nice to be in Arizona.
Well, we're glad to have you back, but a little bit of jealous because I haven't been to Mexico yet this year, and usually we've made a couple trips already. So
Sounds like
I gotta work. I gotta work on that.
Sounds like you're making a plan to Mexico here pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. And on the couch, he's back on the couch. He's got his laptop all ready to go. Mikey G, what's going on, brother? Yeah, mic check. Yeah, turn him up.
Mic check. Oh, there we go.
All right.
No technical issues there. I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. My weekend was really good. Solid, Dawn and I watched, we watched some sports, obviously, with the World Cup, because I had some of my bets on the World Cup, and with the parlays and everything, I had to include a couple different days, to kind of make it up. And the one game I stayed away from, and I'm still glad I stayed away from it, even though England won, because I would have bet England, but I didn't have the confidence in that particular game. Although I think they played well, and Argentina was fun. That was the last one I was waiting for, and so I did take France. I mean, how do you not at this point, know?
Mm-hmm.
And I have it being France and Argentina in the finals. And I tell you what, comparatively,
That might be recency bias, but I'd argue that might be recency bias, but I'd argue that it's like it actually helped the tournament a lot more because you give a lot more teams a fighting chance, so they get that competition about them. And but judging on how a lot of these games went, I think like you said, the seedings and the rankings and the addition of the new teams that actually did a lot for the tournament.
yeah, it didn't end up hurting it in any way that I see. So whatever criticisms there were some, just turned out to not really be true.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it could be recency bias, but this is probably one of the best World Cups I've ever seen. Like just from the amount of like last second goals, extra time, like even the penalty kicks and everything like that. Like there was just maybe it's just the fact that it's going to be Messi's last World Cup as well. So and Ronaldo's for sure. That might have something to do with it as well. But yeah, it just seems like everybody's play was elevated. Like Cape Verde, like no one expected them to do what they did, and they went out valiantly. But I'd say
Yes, they did.
They gained just as much respect as they would have, if they had won a few extra games. So, I think this is going to do a lot for the sport, even more than it already has, especially in this country. But yeah, I was very satisfied with how the entire tournament has played out to this point.
Yeah, it's been good. Like I said, I've had much better success betting after the group round.
Yeah,
and it's kind of worked out. I do have, because I am picking it to be a France Argentina final. I've already placed that bet. So.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, that's going to be what I think. That'll just be a rematch from the 2022 World Cup. Was those two faced off, and I mean, why not? It's two of the best, probably 1 and 2 in terms of best players in the world that you could argue. So at the end of the day, as much as we love the underdogs, we still want to see like the best go against the best and see how that looks.
Yeah, I don't know how you could make either team an underdog in that matchup.
Yeah, I know that line's probably going to be pretty even if I had to guess, like the betting lines. But maybe Vegas knows something we don't.
Maybe.
Well, they tend to do. They tend to do.
England was in the England Argentina. England is favored.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that first came out.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like both teams haven't like there's been multiple games in which both teams haven't looked like their top, their top class. So I'm not surprised just because England they are deeper, but Argentina's got the X factor. They got Messi. Like Messi can score or create opportunities.
And
to score from
even
anywhere.
not scoring,
Yeah,
he created those opportunities though.
Absolutely.
And not many people. He has. If there's somebody that's more dangerous on a corner kick, I haven't seen that person.
Yeah.
Like where he can place it for people, like and the header during that game. I mean, he dropped it. It's just it's so hard to describe. It's that good. It's that hard to be that perfect, man. Like, that perfect.
Right in the breadbasket.
Yeah.
I will be interested to see, like, England's got some bigger players than Argentina. I am interested to see how they deal with that size. Right. I mean,
and so I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for the Argentina game to be over. I got my phone in front of me watching the game because Dawn and I are at the casino. We're at the Baccarat table. And so playing the game. And I put all the money on that parlay. So I'm waiting. I had no money in the account to bet on the fight.
No.
on McGregor losing, because it's just so ridiculous, that fight. Anyways, I'm waiting, and then it was too late. The fight had already started by the time I got paid in my account. And then so I thought, I'll get my bet together. I like these lines right now. I'm going to bet right now on the soccer again. Nope. I totally forgot. I'm at the casino. I'm on a reservation. I'm in another country, basically, and I can't vote. I can't bet on it until we left the casino. So
that's tough.
I bet it later in the night, but
I mean, as long as you're able to get to it at some point,
yeah. But lines change too. You know what I mean? I was like, I really like this where it's at right now.
Yeah,
I wanted to capitalize on it, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, live betting can be a pain in the ass sometimes. Like, it's fun because you can get like, you can feel like the momentum changing. You're like, oh, I'm gonna bet on them, but sometimes they fucking lock you out for so long, and you're just spamming it to fucking to place the bet, and they won't. And then by the time they open it up, it's like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
And one of the things, at least about the MMA right now, is I feel like they did such a good job with the America 250 at the White House that the 2 fight nights we've had since then have not even been close to as good a cards or the excitement of what we had for that. That's how good that was.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think that's a knock on a lot of these other cards because they haven't been like not exciting. They've been good cards, but it's just the whole event, the electricity that was in the air at the White House card, like just everything, the meaning behind it, the whole thing. You can't replicate that on any given night. I mean, before what happened in the main event with McGregor and Holloway, that card was fantastic. I mean, from start to finish, you could tell everybody knew the spotlight was big and they wanted to put on. And I would say like that was the closest thing you could get to trying to rival that is a McGregor headline card. But even then, like it's still not gonna. It doesn't feel the same as a White House 250 card, like because it's once in a lifetime.
Whether he wants to fight or not, or even if he wants to fight, even if he wants to fight again after this happening, isn't it somebody's job to say no?
I mean, the money, it's too much money, man. Like they're never going to say no to that. They know the type of draw he is.
He's finished. He's been finished. He was finished in 21. he was finished. And he's even more finished now. And I don't know. I just see that kind of a fight as being like a total farce, a total ripoff. And it's, as a sports fan, like I'm getting scammed. The good thing about it now is that you're not paying for the fight,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? Because then when stuff like that happens, that's even double getting scammed, right?
Yeah, I mean that used to be the big issue.
Right.
I don't know if you recall, but it was like way back in the day, like early 2000s. It was Ken Shamrock and Tito Ortiz 2 or 3, but it was at the time one of the most just hyped up cards. Broke a lot of records for pay-per-views.
Mhm.
Fucking fight lasted like 8 seconds. Everybody was pissed, like pissed off. So I could only imagine now if somebody, like, honestly how it was with McGregor the first time when he broke his leg.
Well, aren't they finding out now this morning? Maybe I heard something about him getting some kind of medical attention over the past couple of days before the fight.
I don't know if
All of that's going to be
Yeah.
analyzed now.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I was speculating that as well, because the way he was walking in and how he took off like his gear before he walked in, he was looked gingerly on his right leg for sure. But then I think about the fact that the whole week leading up to it and the fights, like he was throwing those same kicks in camp. He was running around on it and like stopping on a dime on it. Like when he was facing off with Holloway before. Like I feel like if a lot of that was bothering him, you wouldn't see as much of that going down. Like I don't know, because he said it was out of nowhere. I tend to believe him because like we would have seen something beforehand that everyone's like for sure like, oh, this dude's injured. There's no way he's healthy. That's my only. There's a lot of eyes on him. Whole lot of eyes.
Yeah, but wasn't it more in his best interest to hide it if he was?
It could be. The thing is, there's a total conspiracy that he was injured and he needed to. He wanted to get the money, and B, he wanted to fulfill this contract so he can go box in Netflix's thing that they're doing because they're offering him an ungodly amount of money to do so. But at the end of the day, I don't think he goes through all this just to go out like that. Like there's a lot of training and conditioning that he put into it. So I don't think he would go through all that if he knew he was just going to fucking take a dive within the first 10 seconds.
How do you feel about it, Leo? What'd you think of the fight?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. I love Max Holloway. Don't get me wrong. Love Max Holloway. Great fighter. But it's sad to see a legend fall and fall hard. Because I think that's the biggest thing for me is because I mean, I don't have like a number one fighter in the UFC.
Yeah.
I just like violence. I like to watch. I like
You're
people
like me.
beating the fuck out of people.
Yes.
But it did suck watching him, especially because he did seem so energetic about it. He seemed like he was in there and he wanted to win. But I think he got overly excited and jumping in the way he did, especially on a knee that was already kind of iffy. That alone is that's where I'm not sure if it's like one of those things where like he just was so excited that he just went back to kind of just what he does, or if it was one of those things where he did kind of have an inkling of some sort of injury. So if he's able to kind of accelerate the process, I can see it. You know me, I can get behind a conspiracy theory.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that was like the idea that people were pointing out was that if he did know about this injury, he knew that his only way of coming out with a win was to somehow just catch Max off guard in a real quick, I don't know, just first kick, knock him out, or at least get him on the ground or something. But yeah, as soon as you saw him land on that, his foot was sideways and he fucking fell over. I was like, oh no.
Well, now at 22-7, I mean, I don't know if you guys can throw in what you think, but to me, he had already gone far enough, and he should have stopped. He still had respect for most people. Taking this additional step, just to me, it puts a little bit of a dark mark on his legacy.
I think it's a lot bigger than most people would say. I think because in my opinion, especially because of the character that McGregor is and him being so explosive and loud and rude, right? How can he come back being like that and then lose in
Yes.
that manner. I think it's especially in the sports. And I'm not sure. I had no idea that he was getting offered to go box on Netflix, and that actually kind of adds to it. I think a little bit more, because then he doesn't have to worry about the leg no more. But I think this is it's a pretty big blemish in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big blemish.
That's how I feel about it.
Because he was already legendary status. Like he had
just
no
leave it
He
alone.
could have just walked away and been fine. But I didn't realize that he still had a fight on his contract. Do you know how many fights he had on his contract left, Mike?
I mean, he's probably got like one more fight. I think. Well, the thing is, we'll see how this, because he's already said he's coming back. Holloway said he wants a third
The
fight.
trilogy. I did. see
So
that.
like,
I don't know if that should happen.
I think after this one, it was supposed to be one more fight, but who knows? Like maybe it might get extended to another 2 fights. That's really up to the powers that be.
Well,
in the
another
UFC.
crappy fight.
One more fight.
Another crappy fight doesn't help Holloway.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he's gonna get paid.
That's what I mean.
I think
That's what I mean. But it doesn't help in legacy or
No.
beating somebody that's good. And like, it's like, yeah, we all expect you to win because this is just ridiculous. So
Mhm.
it doesn't improve my opinion of you because the person you're fighting isn't the person he was 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that makes a difference for me.
I want to give him drunk Poirier.
Drunk boy. Yeah, that shit's been hilarious too. It's not seeing him on the podcast that they have like before the fights was hilarious because we all know why he's not there. But I think it is kind of impressive the fact that he was able, like McGregor was even able to just to step in that ring. The fact that he wasn't like guaranteed to be able to walk on that left leg ever again. Like the doctors were like, there's like a 30% chance, 20% chance you won't be able to walk right on this leg. It's like much less compete in the UFC. So like there is to me some sort of level of respect for being able to condition your body and overcome that and at least get in there. And it's just the fact that it was his right knee and not the left leg because he wanted to throw with the left leg to prove to himself it was still okay. It's just like, man, I honestly couldn't draw that up any worse for somebody like him. I really couldn't.
Right.
That was like worst case scenario.
That's the worst sketch ever.
Yeah.
Of
it sucks,
I mean,
man.
yeah, I mean, Hollywood would never film that.
Yeah,
because it's terrible.
It was so anticlimactic and like, I part of me just genuinely feels bad for him because he even said he's like I'm in hell and he's like
Yeah,
he's
he
like
was having a rough time after.
he was like I'm in a dark place. He was like the devil's staring me right in the face right now and I will be in church Sunday morning and that's how he's.
Does he still own the alcohol company?
Proper 12, yeah. Among
Okay.
like a bunch of other things now.
Yeah. That man makes way too much, and that's the other thing, right? He makes way so like he didn't need the money. Was there any talk about him needing money in at all?
Nah, he made $30 million off that, but he fucking.
But he's already a billionaire, is he not?
I don't know if he's a billionaire, but
pretty
he's
close up there.
He's got about 5 or 6 different successful businesses now, so he's doing very good.
That's what I mean. Just stop mucking up your
Yeah.
of who you are, the legend, and you know, let people like build that up and keep building it. Just like, you know, we did Mike Tyson. Nobody wanted to see that either.
No,
like that.
no.
I'm just over that. I'm over the Ronda Rousey, you know, and just these fights that are just
The gimmick fights, yeah.
yeah. That
Absolutely, yeah.
but but we got to think why is that? Why is it? And I know money, but why are we looking at that versus putting you know, getting real top athletes and getting the matches people want to see with the real top athletes?
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, when it comes to like Jake Paul's promotion and Netflix, they're doing whatever just gets them the most publicity and the most money brought in. For a UFC, yeah, I totally understand. Like maybe why not make McGregor and Holloway like a co-main and then have like a championship fight right after that? You know, to me, the only person that knows that answer is Dana. And I really don't think there is an answer other than money because Dana doesn't need Conor McGregor anymore. He really
No.
doesn't. And I would say Conor doesn't need the UFC either. This was more of just like Conor just wanted to come back and prove to himself and everybody that he could still do it. That was
Well, he proved he couldn't.
yeah, unfortunately. But
So let me ask you guys this. Is there a fight right now that's not happening that you think should happen or you'd like to see happen?
I honestly would like to see a Holloway and Gaethje fight again.
Yes, honestly,
That would be
was
sick.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Like
I think they might say it's overdone but that's a great fight to watch. I agree with that.
I think
Well, I just give me 1 second. I think that reminds me, you guys saying that reminds me of, Nick Diaz.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
That no matter what, you knew you were going to get a good fight with
Mhm.
Nick in there, even with some losses or whatever. Like to me, you couldn't overdo. I'm sure there's a point you can, but for the most part, you couldn't overdo throwing Nick Diaz in there with some other top fighter, and
Yep.
it wasn't going to end and if it did end in 10 seconds, it would have been the best 10 seconds of your fucking life.
Yeah, it was
You know what I'm
fireworks.
saying?
I do have to ask though, have you the Patty literally folded it in half, choked the man out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was impressive.
against a guy who can actually grapple and wrestle too. He
Yeah.
was, the way he shot in like that was stupid. I don't know why he did that, but that's the other fight I was gonna say besides Gaethje and Holloway again is
Mhm.
Paddy Pimblett and fucking Armand Sarukian. That's got to be the next fight for those two to decide who's gonna fight Gaethje for the title, because having Paddy fight Gaethje again after Gaethje fucking beat the shit out of him, I think it's too early. But if he beats another person that's many consider one of the best, if not the best lightweight, you have no choice other than to give him that rematch with Gaethje,
Right.
because he's
But he
proven-
should earn the rematch.
yeah, 100. Yeah, like this was a good test for sure. But if he beats Armand, 100%, you have to give him that rematch.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I think the focus should be on. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how you continue to grow the sport. And, I trust Dana knows 100 times more about doing that than I do. But I'm
Paddy's the next McGregor.
I'm not. I was at no point was I into this McGregor fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was excited. I knew the outcome was more than likely going to be McGregor loss, just not like that. But
Yeah.
Paddy is the future in terms of having that fan like charisma. Like he has everybody screaming his intro, his songs. Like he has the soul. He gained 2 million followers after the Gaethje fight. I mean, he has everybody wrapped around his finger right now.
Yeah.
So he's the next big thing for them, in my opinion.
So just horrible. Just that we've watched some horrible shit lately. And on Saturday night, we watched the Phoenix Mercury, who the last home game, they lost to Indiana. Very close game. And so they were playing they went and played Las Vegas. And halftime, it was Phoenix 32 and the Las Vegas Aces 57. And the final score was 58 for the Mercury and 106 for the Las Vegas Aces, in literally one of the worst basketball games I've seen, men or women. And it does rank up there. I think the most a team has lost by is 57 or 59, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn had looked up, and I believe it was Indiana when they sucked. They lost like that's 6 years ago or whenever it was. But just absolutely
59.
there was there's just no good
And it
part.
was the Lynx
It was the Lynx?
that beat the Indiana Fever.
Okay, yeah. Because the Lynx coach has been there 17, 18 years. She's a legend, herself, and she just broke the record for most wins for a coach in the WNBA. So, yeah, the Minnesota Lynx are solid team right now. Vegas, although Vegas has its nights that they just aren't on. They lost to Indiana last night, but again against the Mercury, just totally destroyed them. We have no bench, In fact, I believe the Vegas bench might have outscored the Phoenix Mercury.
Well, the
That's how
numbers would say
bad it
so.
was.
I
It was. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's just so hard to watch.
Yeah, it's no secret, between you and I that I don't really keep up, as much. Like I keep up with headlines and stuff here and there,
Hmm.
but for the most part, I'm pretty much in the blind on what's going on in the WNBA. But it seems like mm, compared to last season, the vibe and the story and how everybody was talking about the WNBA compared to this season, drastically different. Because you're not the only person I've heard talk about how bad the product is from the WNBA now. Coincidentally, after they get all this money and sign that deal, terrible
Hmm.
timing. However you want to you want to fucking chop it up. But yeah, it just seems like it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And unfortunately, I don't like to see people get just shit on 24/7. But that's all it is right now. That's all I hear about them.
Yeah, and still the back and forth about Caitlin Clark, and then you throw in there Paige Beckers as well, and Paige has been playing phenomenal. I mean,
Hmm.
she's been playing very, very well, and she looks good, creates her own shots, facilitates a lot of things for her teammates as well. And I think right now playing slightly better than Caitlin Clark is playing. But Caitlin did get more minutes last night in Indiana's game, um, and they're deep too. That's just a deep team.
Hmm.
They got a deep bench. Uh, the Liberty kind of have a deep bench. Minnesota more of a deep bench. We did last year,
Hmm.
and with really a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
It was they just produced when they were on the court, and this was just
Might be
so terrible.
might be the issue is that they didn't really have that pressure of expectation, but now coming off a season in which they made the finals, now there is maybe not finals expectations again, but to be competitive, make the playoffs, those sorts of expectations might be looming in the back of the head.
A little bit there was, but that should be the case. But they dismantled a good chunk of the team,
Yeah.
which just hurt so bad. At one point, I was like struggling with, as a coach, do you want to punish your players a little bit? And by punish, meaning leaving your starters in, not subbing them very much, and letting them take this loss hard, you know, because it gets to the point where the effort, when you're down by 40, the effort you're giving to shrink that point gap is not there.
Yeah.
And do I want you to be embarrassed so you remember that taste in your mouth?
Hmm.
Or on the other hand, do just pull you and set you down and just play the bench players because it's just horrible,
Yeah. No, I agree
I don't know.
100%. It's all about how you respond to adversity, really. But I did kind of like what elaborate more on what I mean. Like, I don't like to see people getting shit on because there is a lot of good play that is happening in the WNBA, but it's just getting
Yes, it's being overshadowed though.
and that's the issue. It's like when you have a storyline like this, like we said, they got paid, and this is the first year off that contract. That's going to be the talk. Everybody is like, if your product isn't, if it's not as just top tier after this, like people are going to point it out, and they're going to point it out a lot. And unfortunately, a lot of good storylines are just going to get buried underneath that.
And that seems to definitely be the case with this
Because,
now.
like you said, Paige Becker, she's been playing slightly better
Mhm.
than Caitlin Clark. I'm sure Dallas is probably one of the better teams in the league. But who gets talked?
They're hanging in there. They're not,
they're not? Okay.
they're a playoff team.
They're a playoff team.
They'll be a
Okay,
playoff team.
but who would you say still gets talked about more, Caitlin Clark or Paige Beckers?
Yeah, there's an ebb and flow to that, and Paige gets treated differently than Caitlin gets treated. And that started way back in college. They both took different roads to getting where they got. Paige had an injury, that held her back when she was lighting it up. At the beginning of her college career, she had to sit out a whole year.
Hmm.
And her sitting out that year is when, Caitlin really got to shine. But Paige's 5th year, and she did get a championship, with UConn.
Yeah.
And then you have the other thing. Remember, she checks off a box
Yeah.
too, and maybe more than one box. And I didn't know this, but I won't say. I think her mother and father divorced when she was really, really young, pretty much raised by her dad, and she had some stepbrothers, half brothers, that were like one of them was mixed, so it was like a different environment. And when even in college, Paige was about the Black Lives Matter movement. She made comments about that. She was
Well,
she was involved where, Caitlyn
yeah,
stayed away from that stuff.
Well, isn't Paige's supposed girlfriend the one that
It
they
is.
took?
That's public now.
Oh, it's probably. Isn't she mixed? Isn't she a mixed or
That I
black
don't
girl,
know.
something like that? So yeah, I mean, I could still see that.
And I don't know
being
because I
thing.
usually I don't care. The only part that I care about is that this is the only league where you have because you just don't have it in men's sports. There's no sport where there's a male couple on the same team.
Yeah.
Not basketball, not football,
Yeah.
that doesn't exist.
Yep.
And just the dynamic of that is something that I don't understand. Now, on the other side, you do have to, she's a great player. Aziz is a great player. She's a good story, right? So I think it's a little different than the story we have in Phoenix with Duana and Alyssa Thomas. Because she's at the end of her career. No matter how good she plays here and there, she's at the end of her career, being, I think, 38 years old. So I don't know how much she's got. And that's why it was so disappointing not keeping somebody like Sabali, who was young, to build around for the future. That's who you want to build. We have maybe one of the older teams in the WNBA now because of stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't understand that whole thing of, well, why don't we sign so-and-so's partner? Like, that just seems like an odd way to run a team, man.
Yeah, there's some conflicts of interest there for sure. 100%.
Maybe.
But I mean, if that's how they want to run their team, that's
Yeah. I just don't understand it.
I don't either, and I never will understand it because, like, regardless of how it is, like, people get in arguments. Like, what if they get in an argument like one time and it's just weird, even for one game? Like, do you want that to be the reason that costs you a game, even if it's just one? When it's something that could be avoidable, I don't know. That's just my personal take on that.
Yeah, but that could be a real thing.
Yeah,
and that shouldn't be a thing.
They shouldn't ever have to worry about that. Worry about interpersonal relationships ruining team chemistry like that. But hey, we'll see how it plays out for them.
Yeah, we'll see if anything gets any better. We have their All-Star game coming up, so that's sometime this week. So we'll see. What else did I have? Oh, I know. I had a question for you guys. Going back to soccer, I meant to ask it last week. How the fuck do these fans getting into these games bring a drum as big as this fucking table?
I think it's just accepted because it's a part of like the tradition of it.
You could just get through security with a fucking drum.
I'm sure the process is a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
They probably do it ahead of time. They probably have to like check it in, have it like checked or whatever. And
yeah, but then in the stands, there's barely enough room anyways. I don't want to be next to the dude with the drum.
Well, so in soccer, they typically, I don't know if this is how they sell tickets in like for football or anything like that, but when it comes to soccer, there's like certain sections that they'll be like, all right, well, if you're going to sit in this section, just know, because a lot of the times they'll have like specific like super fan sections and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be pissed as too, but
I just like
I got to be a good distance away from
I think of dumb things when I watch games. I think of things like, why is that? Why do they have a drum?
Yeah.
And not even so much. I get why they have it. How did they get it in there?
Yeah. Like I said, I think they just have to go through a longer, lengthier process to get in. But just to answer your question, Leo, yeah, there is like in every sport, there is like a super fan section or like a designated section for stuff like that. They may not always be beating drums. They might have their own thing going on, but I'm with you. Imagine paying all that money and then the whole fucking time right behind you, some dude's just banging a drum for 90 minutes straight. Like, I get it, but it would drive me crazy.
What difference is they're going to sing in your ear for 90 minutes?
I feel like the drum will get, for me personally, the drumming I feel like would get very annoying after a while.
So FIFA explicitly, I can never pronounce that.
Explicitly.
Anyway, I can never, my mouth doesn't allow me to say that. Prohibits personal drums, musical instruments longer than 12 by 12 by 12 centimeters.
Okay.
But all over,
there's no way. I know what 12 inches looks like.
It says all oversized musical instruments must be registered prior to the tournament. If you are part of a recognized national team supporters association, such as an official FIFA fan movement group, your designated leadership must submit your instrument to pre-approval directly to FIFA fan engagement
That's
team
crazy rules,
and venue management.
All right.
Hey, how bad do you want the drum in there?
It's such a big deal that they have a formal process for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
okay.
I like it. I like some people hate it. The vuvuzelas, like the drums, like I like that when I hear that shit in the soccer games because to me it reminds me of soccer. If I heard vuvuzelas in a fucking NFL game, I'd be like, kick those motherfuckers out right now. Get them out.
Trombones, you know,
like,
he's like, they got some big shit going on in there, man.
But without, those rules being in place, will we ever see the Viking row? Would we have ever had that? Like it's made.
We wouldn't have anything because that's the big thing on soccer, right? In their chants in Europe is that's how they use to synchronize everyone up is whether it be a drum or whatever the fuck it be. There has to be some sort of beat to kind of
that makes sense.
Kind of get it going.
Yeah.
So I can I actually. It's a great question. I've never would have thought to even look that up, but it's kind of cool to know.
You just assume like they're like, hey, sure, yeah, bring that big ass fucking drum in.
I'll be honest with you. What I assumed is that they just have the drums there, and they're like, all right, like super fan section. If you guys want them, you can use your instruments, or something like that. I guess that is a little stupid thing, but yeah, no.
Just have to jump through extra hoops. That's all.
Yeah.
You and I had that conversation, Mike, about the Sephora being an advertiser for the WNBA.
Yeah.
And they played again, and it was that was the Toronto Tempo, okay? And I noticed something else. I'm seeing the Sephora, and then later, it looks like it's literally built into the floor, right? But remember how we talked about hockey?
Yeah.
How somehow they overlay that shit in the back and do that? They're doing that now with the WNBA and basketball, and even logos on the floor. Where the logos are changing.
Yeah.
Because I saw one that was Deloitte for, the old Deloitte Touche, who was accounting.
Yeah.
Big accounting firm. And then Ally, so it changed. And I thought, didn't that just say Deloitte? And I was like, they must be changing that fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, it's just amazing what they're able to do with something that's going on live, to be able to change it for the people at home to influence them, with these advertisements like this.
I'm over ads. I'm so sick of ads. Like there needs to be like a new law saying there's only X amount of ads are allowed for whatever programming you're doing. Cause I'm a little bit desensitized to it. Like it's pretty much just like out of sight, not out of sight, out of mind, but I don't even think about it. Cause MLB started with that, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And the first time I ever noticed it was because like when a fan was walking by past the backstop, you could see it kind of glitch out real quick. And I was like, what the fuck just happened right there? Am I watching like something out of the Matrix here? Like what's going on?
Yes.
Here? And then I found out that's what they were doing. And I was like, man, I don't like that. Cause then you see like this weird, like pixely outline around the batter and the ump and the catcher. It just makes it look weird. I get the money thing, but like at what point do the people get, when do you start thinking about them, the everyday fans of their viewing experience? But they won't care until numbers start going down, I guess.
Well, they're just going to see what's ever there. They're not. It's not affecting them in the same way that it is us watching it at home
Yeah.
because they're not seeing it change. We
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
So that's
Absolutely.
it's just kind of crazy that that happens. So
Fuck ads.
you know, a lot of times, Dawn and I will do that. We'll start watching a game late and just go back to the beginning so we can skim through all the ads. And
That is so hilarious. That gives me so many memories because that's how we used to watch games. Is you would have to pre-record it, and then when you get home, you start it from the beginning, and then just skip through the ads. That actually just gave me so many memories. That's funny that you say that.
well, we just I live TV is the only time I can really put up with ads. But I don't like to
because you have to.
yeah, but I don't really like to.
Well, it's like
at all.
it's bullshit because you'll pay a service for no ads. It'll say no ads for anything, and then it'll be like accept live TV. It's just like no, I'm paying you for no ads at all. Like or they won't advertise other people's shit, but they'll fucking flood you with ads of their own products. It's like
Or you got to listen to the music of the water dripping in a brook.
oh yeah, like how like
The FIFA, the World Cup ones. They used to like sitting the World Cup trophy sitting there. Yeah, I don't understand why they do that.
there was like this thing they were doing where like they were doing like the calm fan thing
Yeah.
or whatever, and like they're just playing calm music and shit, and like I don't want to
fuck
hear
is
all that.
this?
Yeah, like what the fuck are we doing?
It's the
here?
World Cup. It's not
Like,
peaceful.
Just show like if you're gonna do something, show like highlights from the rest of the tournament. Like
See, that's why I don't. That is what I was expecting. Like because I'm sure they can have some sort of broadcast stream playing with all the previous, even if it's like them playing like previous games from before, or like Mike says, just like the highlights or something like that. But just a plain little video and the peacefulness. I'm like, I don't know. I every time I turn it on and that's playing, I just turn it back off. I'm like, all right,
we're not
we'll
watching
come
for
back to it.
calm. We're watching for chaos.
Yes.
We want the energy. We want the excitement. That fucking emotional roller coaster. Like sports gives that enough on its own. We don't need you fucking adding into that.
Yeah, we don't. We've had enough. All right. Yeah. So I did want to bring that up. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away last night, and how do I feel about Lindsey Graham's death? Well, first, you know, for his family and his close friends, you know, I feel that, you know, just comfort and prayers to them. We're the ones that have to deal with the loss. The person we're losing, they're in a better place, man. They got to some kind of finish line, you know. And I didn't always agree with Lindsey Graham simply because, you know, I kind of changed my position on a number of things. But he wasn't a senator that I disliked, for that matter. I one thing, if I don't agree with someone, one thing I like about someone is if I feel like they're being honest about what they believe. That even if we don't agree, they're being true and honest to themselves about what their beliefs are and expressing them. And I feel like he was really good at that. That he was very consistent, much more than a lot of these other politicians. I didn't see how much, you know, people, how much what was his net worth when he died? I can say this somebody who served as long as he did, he didn't become as wealthy as a lot of them do.
Yeah.
You know, that says something about that too. It certainly doesn't help right now because the Senate is so close anyways, and things they want to get passed. And on top of that, with Mitch McConnell being in the hospital, the difference is Mitch McConnell being in the hospital, he's been voting against the president a lot of times. And every state has its different rules. But basically, the governor, and it is a Republican governor in South Carolina, gets to name somebody to take it over temporarily until they have an election. Either a regular, it happens during a regular election time, or they have a special election. It just depends on how the days line up and how many days each side is allowed to do that. But in this case, it's no disrespect to Senator Graham, but they are going to want to name somebody very, very quickly to fill his spot, just because of the votes that are coming up before the recess that's going to be happening here shortly, their break.
So, quick question.
Yes.
Well, two things. So Father Time did leave a comment. Definitely was very sad to hear the loss. Sorry, it's text a little small and I can't read. Definitely very sad to hear the loss of anyone. I was definitely not a fan of him in almost every way. Still a huge loss. But my question is, what is the process to something like that? Because like for the president, for instance, if he were to pass, we have a vice president already in line.
Right.
How does someone like this get replaced?
The governor.
Gotcha.
The governor gets to pick them. Now, the Republican Party is going to throw out some names. People that are interested, like somebody that maybe was just in a primary and lost,
Gotcha.
Might throw in their name to be considered.
But
ultimately, it's the decision of the governor.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
And their governor.
And it happens fast. Now, if it's a representative, that's for senator. If it's a representative, then what usually happens is the special election very quickly.
Oh, there is an election.
Yes. Yeah, they don't usually. The governor does not get to pick somebody temporarily for the House of Representatives.
Gotcha. And it would be just temporary until the.
Yeah, well, the person that you give the temporary job for might be the person that you want to run that, and,
Gotcha.
And obviously if you can get them in there early
and let
them look like a senator and get them some publicity for free, kind of thing. That's not a bad thing if you want that person to win, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And in this case, it's good that it's a Republican governor, because what if it was a Democrat? If it was a Democrat governor and a Republican held that seat, that Democrat's under no obligation to pick a Republican. No, you could say, well, he should because that's who people voted in. You know what I'm saying? But that won't ever happen. That's not how that works.
Fair play in politics.
No such thing, right? Yeah. And it's just, it was just very, very quickly, he had been on TV, within the last couple of days, he had been seen. He was, I believe, just got back from Ukraine even. So,
yeah, I did notice it said it was very sudden and brief illness that came up. So yeah, obviously a lot of people are kind of blindsided by this.
Well, and he didn't look sickly in any way. He's 71. Yeah, he looks pretty good for a 71-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, so like I said, there's things that I did like about him at different times, things that I didn't. But there was a lot more of them that I disliked than him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it could always be worse. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, now we have the back and forth online. With the that Democrats are going to say things like "good riddance" and all the nasty things they're going to say. And
how about we say that about your loved one, your grandfather, father, brother? How about we do that? See how you feel about it.
Well, they'll mention that we maybe weren't so nice about certain people, or. But I've never gone as far as they go when somebody does that.
They're fucked in the head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when something like that, to me, even if I disliked the person or whatever they represented, whatever it was, they paid the ultimate price. Just let them rest in peace and just move on. Because the world's gonna keep turning. But like it just, to me, bringing up somebody's name like that constantly, even years after the fact, like it just never sits right with me. It's just a weird feeling when people kind of jab at somebody who's already, like I said, paid the ultimate price.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't see it that way, but maybe that's what makes us better than them.
I think it does. I
Yeah.
think we're better than them. And I just hope that, again, that they pick somebody that can fulfill the obligation that needs to be done, because we do have some important votes. And then I also hope they pick somebody that can hold on to the seat. So I would guess, there might be a primary vote that they'll schedule as a special election, and then obviously then have the regular vote in the November election.
Yeah.
So I think the Democrats, I think this was a year for re-election. So I think this was a year so they have somebody all ready and ready to go.
Yeah, hopefully it's somebody respectable.
Yeah, it's different for the senators because it's 6 years.
Yeah.
And just kind of rotates, not all of them.
Anybody that's perhaps a little bit younger than your average senator? Anyone?
Please, how about somebody in their 50s?
Yeah,
right?
like for sure, absolutely, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I just can't do the Mitch McConnells of the world, man. I just can't keep doing that. I don't know why we keep just letting that happen, but I don't think I'll ever forget for the rest of my days is that the look on Mitch McConnell's face when he had that fucking episode in front of the media, and he just went silent. He was he was talking in front of all these media members and lights, everything, cameras, microphones on him, and he's just lost all train of thought, just staring out into the abyss. I'll never fucking forget that. And I'm like, why is he in office? Like, this dude can't even fucking produce a sentence.
And he's somebody that has definitely, in comparison to Lindsey Graham, definitely increased their wealth.
Yeah. Snake motherfucker.
By serving him and his wife.
I was going to say his wife. Yeah. His wife, they got busted because she was doing business with some shady Chinese businesses overseas.
That's her background.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was definitely using that for shady shit.
Of course. Do we have the story about the Canada shooting?
Oh, wait, gunfire erupts at, that second one to the left there, I believe. Yeah. Huh. So it's not just America.
Well, the reason I thought this was interesting, you're kind of hitting on it, is because you're not really allowed to own a gun in Canada, are you? I mean, they have some of the strictest gun laws anywhere.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not very well versed or really familiar with Canadian gun laws, but if it's just in uniform with the rest of their policies, I would say, yeah, they probably don't. They're not allowed to have guns.
They are legal. You can legally own a gun in Canada, but it requires passing a background check and obtaining a federal possession and acquisition license. You must be 18 years or older and successfully complete the Canadian firearm safety course.
So there's a lot. They make it a lot more difficult.
Buying one, they can own one or they can buy one.
Yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea how that shit works with it.
Because I thought they've made things even stricter.
There is no national freeze on the sale, purchase, or transfer of handguns.
Okay.
You generally cannot buy a handgun unless you fall under a strict exception, such as being an Olympic target shooter or holding an authorization to carry.
So you can't. They do make it almost impossible to get a gun.
You can't own a gun. They just put extra steps in front of saying no.
They are mostly standard hunting rifles and shotguns. They are legal to own and use for hunting or target shooting.
That makes
sense. So it looks
sense.
like it's the handguns and automatic rifles.
Yeah, and I think what they've done too is they've you could ask it, what things have they done in recent years to take guns off the streets? Like the different buybacks like they did in Australia and shit like that. And it just doesn't work.
No.
You have people that that can't defend themselves at a festival because the person with the gun got it illegally, and nobody has a legal gun to be able to protect anybody with.
Yeah, I mean these bad guys never play by the rules. That's my number one thing is when you try to take the high road against people like that, you're
Mhm.
gonna lose, or people are gonna lose their lives every single time. They're not gonna fucking be like,